And that is how you create your own rating system for reading books, whether it's personal development or biographies or just for fun. That is how you can create your own rating system. In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to create a custom star rating scale. So it's not just based on feelings, but on facts. And it's the same across the board. You can know how one book compares to another, provided they're the same style. For instance, your scale for rating fantasy novels might be different than rating personal development books or biographies. But what we're going to do is develop a system that is the same across the board. So you can literally know what is a 5-star read for you, what's a 2-star read, and why every single time. It's also going to help you learn how to articulate why you like or dislike a book much better. Now, you might be wondering, why am I doing this? Well, I did it for myself, and I actually found it really rewarding and insightful to understand my reading preferences more clearly, articulate my thoughts on books more precisely, and have more meaningful discussions with other people about my books and why I like or dislike them. So here's the thing. Anybody can say, oh, this is a 5-star or this is a 4-star read. But with a custom scale, you're rating books based on what is important to you. So what's important to me might vary from what's important to you, but at least we'll know what we're rating it on versus just a gut feeling, because I can't translate my gut instincts about books to someone. So it's better to just have a system that I'm following. What I love about this fact-based approach, if you will, is that it allows me to be more precise in my evaluations of books, and it allows me to communicate my thoughts better. So without further ado, let's dive into how you can create your own 5-star rating system. Now, I'm going to do the example of personal development, and then I'll show you what it looks like for me having done this at the end. The first thing you're going to have to figure out is, what are your criteria? That's step number 1. Identify criteria that means the most to you. It might be the writing quality. It might be the impact that the information can have on your life. Actually, let's go over here, and I'm just going to show you really quickly what it looks like for me. So here you'll see that I have my library. And if I click on the rise, so I rated this 4.1 stars. Before, I think I had this rated a little bit higher, but after running it through my scale, it ended up with a 4.1 rating. And I can trust this rating system. That's what's so cool. So why Dee Dee's 4.1 star rating, and then information quality and misinformation. So if it has a lot of good quality information, but it has some misinformation, that will deduct from the total of 10 points. So information quality is what's most important. Potential to transform your life if implemented. Practicality and applicability, 7 points. Unique ideas and approaches, 10 points. These are bonus points, so they're worth 5 each, and it's intention and expectation alignment. But these are the things that I'm rating it on. So at first, I was rating books based on how much I enjoyed them. But I was talking to my husband, and he was like, well, that, if the information was great and it was really impactful, then it shouldn't matter how much you enjoyed reading it. And I was like, that's true. Like, the enjoyability factor in a book that is like personal development isn't the biggest deal. It's more about, what is the information helpful? Is it useful? If I implement it, can it change some aspect of my life? And the answer was yes. So I realized that some things are more important than others. And I might not be enjoying it because I'm not in the mood. And I just said that I wanted to finish the book today, so I'm going to finish it today. That doesn't make it a less good book, if that makes sense. So my enjoyability is only worth 5 points. It's not going to be worth the same as the information being a 10 out of 10. That's a little look into my scale. But the first thing you have to figure out, your criteria. Now, if it's a fantasy book, it might be like, maybe you're somebody who's really plot driven, like you want a really good plot, so that would be worth more points. Maybe you're more character driven. How strong are the characters? Like, do you if you're more into world building and you want to feel really immersed, is it really an immersive experience? Whatever those little things are. The cool thing about this and having this library here is that if I recommend a book to someone, they can see what was important to me and why I rated it what I rated it, and say, oh, well, that's not that important to me, or this is that important to me, and base it on their own filters. But I just want mine to be there and be known. So I'm not recommending books in the murky area that is how I feel about it. I want it to be very specific. I like being very precise. So this allows me to be precise, and I love it. Like when I finished this and I got to go through and literally rate all of these books that I read based on this, I was like, oh yes. And I know that I did it right because I finished, let me just show you. Okay, so I finished this book and I was like, I think that this is going to end up being like, the way I felt about it was about the same as I felt about Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. So I rated it 2 stars. Come look over here. And this book is Super Attractor is also rated 2 stars. So to me, that just goes to show like my feeling was on par even whenever I went back and did the actual rating system. So that is cool. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a nerd, probably just a nerd. But yeah, so the next thing that you need to figure out, we kind of went over it, but the next thing you want to do is determine the weight of the criteria. For instance, the information versus misinformation is worth 10 points. How much I enjoyed the book is only worth 5 because that's not as important to me. I didn't want to give too much weight to how much I enjoyed it. And I rated my expectations of a book at 5. Those are just bonus points. Did it meet my expectations and how I felt about it are bonuses. Misinformation, the ability to transform my life, practicality and applicability. All of those things are 10 because they're more important. So determine what criteria you have and then decide the importance, the weight of it. Now, for my scale, I have 4 criteria that are worth 10 points and I have 2 criteria that are worth 5. That means in total, 50 points are able to be gotten, so to speak. And so it's very easy then to say, okay, well, if I got 41 out of 50, that's 4.1 star rating, right? It makes it really simple. And you can rate it. So I said, okay, for information quality, and I put 3 points. Potential to transform your life if implemented, 3 points. Practicality and applicability, 7 points. It was very practical. Like, and you'll see in parentheses here, I have practicality and applicability relates to the tools provided. Or they were providing tools to implement. Potential to transform your life is, from my opinion, if I implement those tools, what is the impact of them? So then unique ideas and approaches, 1 point. I don't think that there was very much unique in this book from my point of view. And then, which is also something that can vary, right? To me, it wasn't unique, but to someone else, it might be based on what they've read in the past. So this is what it looks like. You're going to line it all up and then you just rate it. How many points out of 10 am I going to give this? I gave it 3, 7, 1, 5, 1. So it ended up getting a total score of 20 points. So it got 2 star rating. So that's how that works and like how the tallying and everything of it works. Now, what's really cool is I have all of the books that I read here. I can filter them by most impactful to least impactful, ones I've started, ones I've not started. Okay, so now that you guys see how it all works, this book, Boundaries, I actually haven't come over and added my notes yet, but I want to rate the book anyway, and then I will do it. So I have completed this book, so I'm gonna hit that. It's down here at the bottom because it doesn't have a star rating yet. So together, let's just do this and put it over here. And now what I'm going to do is rate it. So information and quality. And I already know this was, if you saw my last video, the best book that I read in August. So potential to transform your life. I mean, I guess it depends on if you already have really strong boundaries, but for me, I have them with certain people and not so much with others. So I think that it can literally be so impactful. It definitely provides tools and steps, 10 out of 10. For me, it was a 10 out of 10. If you already know about boundaries and have done a lot of work looking into it, it might not be that impactful for you. But for me, it was unique because I never heard it before. Let's see. Intention and expectation alignment. I would say it did what I wanted to. And reading enjoyability, I would say 4. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with 3. I'm gonna go with 3. Because I do feel like it got a little redundant, even though it was good toward the very end, like as I'm wrapping up. So what do we have here? We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 48. So this book was And I said in my video that it was 5 stars, but clearly it was 4.8. It's just like, I don't know. To me, this just feels so good to have. So that is what I would do if I was reading this book, which I am, and it is 4.8 stars. That feels very accurate, and I very much enjoyed it. I don't know. I feel like there is a book out there where it will be a complete 5 stars. Like, I enjoyed it the whole time, but also the enjoyability might just be the finishing process. Like, it's not easy for me to finish books. So anyway, that is how to create a rating system. That's what it looks like when it's implemented. I hope that this helps you. I hope that you create your own and have fun doing it. If you do try this out and start rating your books like this, let me know how it goes for you. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a like. If you dig the vibes, you can subscribe. That's all I've got for today, guys. Peace out.